I was initially turned off to Andrew Tate when I first discovered him, but as time went on, I found myself agreeing with a lot of the things that he said and started actually growing to like him. And so I started to wonder if he could actually be innocent and was wrongly accused of the crimes that he was charged with. And probably like a lot of you, I wanted to believe that he was innocent. But as I looked into his case and I compared it with what he said in his recent interview, I found it nearly impossible to conclude that Tate's 100% innocent, and even more impossible to deny that he flat out is lying to everyone.
Have you been keeping up with Andrew Tate stuff?
Nope.
I've kind of changed my mind on the whole Andrew Tate thing. I think I would think I was skeptical at first, like a lot of people, as far as thinking some of the trumped up charges that were on him. That the government over there. Where is he at again? I forgot. I forgot where he's at, but he's not in America. But anyway, wherever he's at, that the government was trying to sham him throughout the the months of him being locked up, and then other things being leaked and things coming out. To be honest with you, I kind of think he's guilty. I think he's guilty of everything that they're trying to charge him with. And so there's a lot of people that are still on his side. There's a lot of men that are still on his side. And amazingly, there's a lot of black men that are defending Andrew Tate right now. I've always been of this, listen, I can have an opinion about something, but I'm always willing to change my opinion. And the thing is that I think I'm changing my opinion on this. But the thing is that when I first started hearing about him, when I first started hearing stuff, I was hearing, kind of the good parts of the message that he was putting out. The thing is, I didn't know about this other stuff that he was talking about. And so as his other stuff has been leaked out, well, not leaked out, it has been put out into the media. To be honest with you, listen, can two things be true at once? I guess is what you'll say. And I think that you can say some good things and you can have a good message, but you could also be doing some inappropriate and bad things also. Anyway, let's see what he's talking about.
Here's why. In Andrew Tate's recent interview with Tucker Carlson, Tate was asked what he was being charged with, and he said,
"So what are you charged with?" That's a really good question. I'm charged with being the head of an organized criminal group, which is in charge of recruiting girls to make TikTok videos to steal the money from the TikTok views.
Okay, this is where I caught the first red flag from this interview. He claims that he was charged for heading a criminal organization that was guilty of stealing money from women on TikTok. But when I heard that, I thought, I have no idea how that could be considered trafficking. It only sounded like a financial crime, which is why Tucker asked them about it.
So there's been a lot of people that's been trying to interview Andrew Tate. Listen, if you're being charged with something, you're being charged with a crime, I think the best thing for you to do is to honestly be quiet and not be doing interviews. But it seems like he's on this kind of like media tour with, friendly media to try to, kind of curve his image, try to make his image a little bit better. And he's saying, trying to say all the right things. But the thing is that whenever he's asked about the charges, he's kind of glossing over what the charges really are. And the charges, honestly, from what I've heard, are actually very severe. And the other thing I don't really understand is that there's people like Bet David and, the Sauce Cast people and other people who are saying that Andrew Tate is a really, really nice guy. And the thing is that they don't believe that these charges are real. But the problem that I have is that, listen, you don't really know who somebody is when you're not there. You don't really know who somebody is behind closed doors. They're lending their credibility over to Tate, and I think it might end up, being a mistake in the end. But anyway, listen, that's just my opinion.
Recruiting girls to make TikTok videos and stealing the money. So it's really a financial crime?
It looks that way, and it's very interesting because the girls who they've identified to add to the file are saying that we're not victims of anything, and this isn't true. But the state believes it's true, and the state thinks that I, as a 35-year-old man, woke up. I was already extremely financially successful. I was already a father. I was already very well known.
See, I don't need all this. I don't need you going all this. Just stick to the, I don't need you giving me all this. And
He's basically saying, why would I have to do that?
Yeah, but the problem is with me is that, listen, I have to be, I have a lot of the situations I'm in every week where I have to figure out, if somebody's lying to me. And whenever someone goes off on tangents like this, why would I steal this? I got this, I got that, I got all this, it's like, why would I steal? It's like, you're telling me that you probably have done something wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you go off on this tangent. And so it just throws up my spidey senses. It just throws up my red flags just in dealing with people.
Your spidey senses?
Yeah, spidey senses.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, my spidey senses. You never heard that before?
No.
You've never heard spidey senses?
No, I don't watch Marvel movies.
Well, anyway, my spidey senses go off, and they're going off right now.
I had no financial motivation. I have no criminal record. It's not my personality profile, but I woke up at the age of 35 and decided to make girls do TikTok to enrich myself with the pennies that I would earn from TikTok views.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let you know is that there's going to be some videos where he talked about what he did earlier before he became ultra famous. He was saying some stuff and saying too much of some stuff on the internet, and the stuff that he was saying that's coming up, he was saying with such a conviction that it really sounded like he knew what he was talking about and it sounded real. So this little glossed over, description that he just gave right now is not the description that he was given a couple of years ago.
When I first heard this, I thought, well, that's strange. So Tate wasn't charged of trafficking?
So in the United States, I think the belief is that you were charged with human trafficking.
Yeah, that's human trafficking because what you do is you force a girl to work against her will for financial gain. That's human trafficking. And their justification for this is that girls do TikTok. Some girls I know who they found who say they're not victims have TikTok accounts.
Now, wanting to see if this were true, I decided to take a deeper look into his charges. Fortunately, the indictment is available online, but as soon as I started to read the indictment, I very quickly realized that what Tate was saying wasn't fully true. Yes, he was charged with organized crime and trafficking, but not for the reasons that he gave. According to the indictment, Tate recruited victims in deception by falsely making them believe that he wanted to start a family or a relationship with them, even though he didn't. And real quick, to pause there for a second, lots of people don't know this, but trafficking isn't always done by force like how we saw in the movie Sound of Freedom. In fact, most trafficking isn't. There's a category of trafficking called the lover boy method that's done by seducing young, vulnerable girls or boys over a lengthy period of time in order to exploit them sexually later on. So in other words, if you're trying to get women to fall in love with you with the end goal of getting them to perform sex work as you get paid for it, then you're guilty of sex trafficking.
If what this guy is saying is true, what Tate described that he was doing earlier, which will probably be up in one of the videos a little bit later, he was telling women to come live with him and that they were going to be his girlfriend. And then once they had gotten over there, he would con them into doing webcam business. Listen, now he's going to explain a whole lot better than this, okay? Because my explanation is very, because I don't run a webcam business and I don't exploit females, so I don't know how to explain this. But when Tate explains it, it makes a lot of sense. It sounds a little sleazy. Even if it wasn't a law, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound morally right to begin with. Because if you're telling someone to come to live with you and then in order for you in the back of your mind to have them working in the sex industry, but they don't know that, and you're not asking them up front to come live with you to work in the sex industry, but you're basically flying them, over. Now they could be paying for their own, flight and stuff over, but once they get over there, is that you're tricking them into working into sex work. That sounds a little scummy, and it sounds like that probably could be illegal.
I was all about trying to get paid. Like I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense. Like I was not trying to have sex with women. I was trying to get women to obey me. And I realized that's easier if they like to have sex with me. If they don't like having sex with me, it's pretty hard to make them listen to me.
So yeah, on corporatate.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm
Clever.
And
Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. That's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me.
He's actually a very good speaker. He actually tells on himself very well. And if he's not telling on himself, he's actually a very good storyteller. He should probably write some books, be a fictional be a fictional novelist, maybe the next Stephen King.
He might have a lot of time to do that soon.
Yeah, he may have a lot of time to do that soon. But if this is not true, he tells a great story.
Now, as you could imagine, after I came across these clips and others like them, it made me start to seriously doubt that Tate is telling the truth when he says that he's not guilty of trafficking. And just so we're on the same page here, lover boy trafficking is when you lure a woman in by making her fall in love with you over a long period of time with the intent of making money off of her doing sex work. And as you just heard, Tate literally admitted to trafficking in those couple of clips alone.
If you're playing in this gray area of society and of life, and you keep, espousing things online, at some point in time, somebody might, come knocking at your door. What was that? You hadn't seen that movie.
What movie was it?
I'm trying to think what movie it was. It's hard out here for a pimp. You ain't seen it.
Hustle and Flow?
Yeah, Hustle and Flow.
Come on.
You seen Hustle and Flow?
Yes.
Anyway, you keep knocking on devil's door, and at some point in time, the devil's going to answer.
The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. You f*** the girl. After you f*** the girl, you do the PhD test.
Do you think that he was lying with what he was saying just then? Like I said, these videos are from years ago.
No, I don't think he's lying.
And does it sound a little scummy?
It sounds so scummy, but he looks super young. He looks like he doesn't really have much. And I don't know, he might not really even be doing this, but in his mind, he thinks it's the perfect plan.
No, I totally think that he was doing this. And the thing is, I think that he was younger then, but I think he was doing okay for himself. But when you're young, you don't think that far ahead. When I was younger, I didn't think that far ahead. I think he said he moved to Romania or whatever country he was in, shooting these videos at the time.
The laws were looser or something, right?
Well, he was saying that, but the thing is that it sounded like he didn't even look up the laws. And so,
yeah, because I thought at the time when he got arrested that it was almost like they stepped up and arrested him to show him, because he was putting that out on the internet. Yeah, we do have laws and they are, they are strict, and I thought that's why they went after him.
It doesn't look like that he looked into the laws of what the whole lover boy method was in the country, which is Romania. It sounds like, that he was still filming these videos in. From my understanding, from a lot of stuff that he was saying, is that, I have enough money to buy off the legal system. Well, you listen, there's always somebody that's going to have more money than you. And somebody that may want to make a statement about you. But anyway.
Or just something's not for sale. Sometimes you can't just buy your way out of stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
Not for sale, Francis.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's from.
Pee Wee Herman.
Okay, I've never seen that.
What?
The other possibility is that he was lying and he wasn't being honest in those clips, in which case we would be forced to conclude that he lied to men in his courses in order to financially profit off of that lie. But no matter what, he's either guilty of lying to women for financial gain, or he's guilty of lying to men for financial gain. Either way, when someone admits in the past to doing these things, builds a career off of teaching others how to do them, and then eventually gets arrested for doing those very same things, then it's a little hard to believe them when they say that they were being unjustly arrested and targeted by the Matrix for only teaching men how to be strong. Now, to those that think that I'm wrong, just note that Tate is fully capable of taking advantage of men, as he's also admitted to doing in past clips like this.
When I talk about what women don't find, that women don't know what men find attractive, earlier on in this podcast, everything I said, the webcam company I was running proved that perfectly. So I'm trying to teach these women, and the women kept f***ing it up. So I said to them, it's like, you know what, f*** it. I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking. The girls were just famoosers, just laughing and doing this, the out. And they were talking to ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. And they come and say, well, what kind of, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. Women haven't got a clue how to famoose a dude. They don't have, because they rely on their looks. They don't have any of the intellect. They have no game, nothing. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all. So and it's basic shit, right? You'd have a guy.
Feel bad or no?
No, to give a solitary.
Now that sure does sound like that he cares about the young men. He's got the young men who have nothing spending their last dollars, and while you over there, giving yourself a hand, he's one on the other end of the keyboard typing to you. So it sounds a little sus also. He was fleecing you, and it seems like that was his first hustle. Now it seems like this is his second hustle. So his first hustle was to fleece you behind the keyboard and you didn't know who he was. Now he's fleecing you out in public. How many times can a zebra change the stripes? He's just walking out of the woods now and he's just fleecing you right in public. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, a lot of stuff that he said in the beginning, listen, I was like, you know, he sounds good. But a lot of scam artists are a lot of times very charismatic. Has nice clothes, has nice cars. He has somewhat a nice house. And then he ropes you in with the girls. And so, listen, he's got all the makings of just being a hustler and a scam artist. We always say women are distracted by diamonds and shiny things and pretty things. Men are distracted by women, cars, houses, and bling. That's what men are distracted by. So you have enough of that, listen, you can sell us anything you want to. I've been guilty of that before too. I'm not saying that I'm any better than anybody else, but at some point in time, you got to kind of step back and take a look at the full picture and not just be in the game and falling so close behind somebody that you got your, you know, your nose stuck up the ass.